Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be going over, in my very humble opinion, the best masculine releases of 2023. And I don't know if it's just me, but it seems that 2023 was really a fantastic year of fragrance releases for men and for women, designer and niche. It was the year of the Elixir, and today's video we're going to be going over my favorite men's targeted, marketed fragrance releases, and it is going to be a long one, so get your popcorn. There are a lot of fragrances in this list. I'm going to try to go through them as fast as I can while explaining to you guys why I think they are the best. And in no particular order in this video, we're going to be doing niche and designer. So first we're going to go through the designer releases, and then we'll go to the niche. First up, we have Invictus Victory Elixir. Now, this one, in my opinion, is the absolute best. The most stomachable Invictus, in my opinion. The only Invictus that I really enjoy. I feel like they really knocked it out of the park with this release. Definitely has that Paco Rabanne, very sweet and playful DNA in here, but just done a little bit better. A little more, not so childish, not so synthetic. There are some other notes in here that really help even it out. This fragrance has been compared to Le Beau Le Parfum by Jean Paul Gaultier. That is a fragrance that it's findable. You can get it in the US, but it's not the easiest scent to get. So a lot of people look to Invictus Victory Elixir as an alternative to that scent, which is like it's kind of like Le Beau, that fresh coconut citrusy scent, but a little bit, I don't want to say heavier, just a little more dynamic, has some added notes like ginger and iris. This kind of goes hand in hand with that, but this one, to me, it reminds me of it, but it doesn't necessarily have that same heavy tropical feel. This one is a little more cozy, a little more gourmand. Comparing it to Invictus Victory, which was just more of like a basic vanilla, this one is a little more dynamic, has a little more going on in here, and I think that it was a good saving point for Invictus. So if you guys have tried different Invictus flankers in the past and you find yourself thinking, wow, way too sweet, way too juvenile, too young, not for me, definitely check out Invictus Victory Elixir. It's a tongue twister. I think you'll be impressed. It definitely converted me. I was an Invictus hater, and now I am a lover with this flanker. So next up, from the house of Jean Paul Gaultier, I'm sure you all know where I'm going with this one. We have Male Elixir. I did give this fragrance a little bit of heat, quite a bit of heat when it came out, but not because I particularly disliked the scent. I don't dislike it at all. I was just kind of going against the hype a little because, in my opinion, at the time, people were really overplaying what this scent is, what it's made out to be. It's good, but it's not like, they were making it seem like it was like a quick fix to solving all your problems on earth. Like it's just the best thing that ever was, and I don't really agree with that. I will say that my bottle has macerated quite a bit. It has gotten better, but even now it's nice. I'm not gonna say anything bad about it. Even though I don't think this is the most just amazing scent that was released of the year, I wanted to include it just because of the amount of attention that it got, and a lot of people love it. And women love it as well, because I took this one to the streets of South Beach, did a street reaction with the Battle of the Elixirs, and Jean Paul Gaultier Male Elixir came out on top. Just a nice tobacco lavender warm scent, great for the cold weather. Was it worth the hype? Probably not, but it's still a good scent. So next we'll talk about one that really just knocked my socks off, so to say, when I smelled it for the first time. Tumi 19 Degree. This fragrance was a total surprise for me. I had never tried anything from Tumi, and this recent release, you guys, is absolutely incredible. This has like all of those elements of Sauvage that I like. I think it's easier for me to explain this in the way of, this reminds me a little bit of Absolu Aventus. Like this is something that I would put up next to Absolu Aventus as an affordable alternative. There's a very cool fruity opening in this. I don't know if it's necessarily pineapple, but there's something very citrusy, zesty, like a grapefruit mixed with a raspberry. And people hear raspberry and they ask me all the time, Erica, does it smell like Tuscan leather? No, absolutely not. This is closer to the Aventus realm than it is to the Tuscan leather realm, but unique in its own way. And what I think is really great about To Me 19 Degree is that it's an extrait de parfum. I mean, how many designers out there can you find that's an extrait de parfum for under $150, around $140 with my 20% off discount code on So Avant-Garde, Erica20, get you 20% off site-wide. This fragrance, you guys, has been an obsession for me. I absolutely adore it. It's so cool. It's not necessarily anything new. It kind of takes all of these very appealing, done before kind of DNAs and takes inspiration from a bunch of different popular scents and kind of mixes it all into one. In that way, it makes it a little different, but it's going to be familiar, but it's going to be very good. Very strong as well, great performance. It's really an amazing value when you think of the direction and prices that the designer world has gone. It's really something that every man needs to try. To Me 19 Degree. So next up we have Pacha de Cartier Noir Absolu, and this was a very interesting addition to the Pacha line. Typically when we think of Pacha de Cartier, we think of very classic, definitely not vintage, but just very simple, classic, beautiful, kind of classic perfumery style scents. Very gentlemanly. Noir Absolu took this line in a completely new direction, adding this kind of smoky gourmand, nutty gourmand. I am addicted to this scent. It's kind of like in the realm of By the Fireplace by Maison Margiela, but done in a different way. It's not quite as sweet as By the Fireplace. It still has that smoky aspect to it, but it's very nutty as well. Kind of like roasted chestnuts with this touch of something smoky, kind of borderline incensey. And it's just so different and so unexpected. Like, I would have never thought that Cartier would add something like this to the line. Like I said, really pleasantly surprised, and this is just the best type of scent profile that I like to smell on a man. I love to smell unique, kind of edible scents, very cozy. This is a really great winter signature if you live somewhere very cold, just like By the Fireplace. If you're over By the Fireplace or By the Fireplace is too sweet for you, definitely check out Noir Absolu, Pacha de Cartier. All right, so we have another fragrance here that I kind of bashed a little when it first was released, but then came around to really loving it. We have YSL's Myself. Once again, I said this scent was good, but just not very impressive to me. But then when I came back to it, I was like, this is sexy stuff, guys. Like, this is just a really great all around, all occasion, daily wear type of scent. Very versatile. It'll work in literally any situation that you put it in. Just very fresh and clean. Something kind of candy sweet in this that I really enjoy. And it's a little different. It's kind of like, it has this side that's a little candy sweet. It has this side that's kind of aquatic. It has this other side that's kind of fresh and clean. And it's just this really beautiful combination that just works really well. And it's just so wearable, which is why I think it gets so much attention from people, is just because it does what it's meant to do very well. And another one that women just absolutely love. Every woman that I've shown myself to, they drool for it. They think it's very sexy. And I do too. So next up we have a flanker from the Mont Blanc Explorer line. We have Explorer Platinum. And this was another one that was just a beautiful surprise for me because I have been vocal about it. I do not like Explorer. I don't think that it's a very good Aventus alternative. I think there's much better options out there on the market. This is something totally new. I honestly am not entirely sure why they put it in the Explorer lineup, like with the Explorer name. It doesn't really make a ton of sense to me. This fragrance is such an amazing value. You can pick this up for like around, is it like Explorer is really accessible and affordable. This is as well. You can pick this up for around like anywhere from $40 to like $60. It is incredible, you guys. Wow, so like just what a step up from Explorer. It kind of has this clary sage mixed with an actual sage note and this violet leaf. It is so appealing, so fresh. There's something kind of like very airy, also kind of clean linen about it mixed with those other notes. This is something that I would say is very unique in the designer world and very classy. This is another scent that you could wear it all the time, but I think it would be better for like the office, like some sort of occasion. I don't know, it just feels very dressy, very put together. Smells way more expensive than it is versus the original Explorer. To me, smells very cheap. This one was one of my absolute top favorite releases of the year. Get your nose on this, guys. You're going to be blown away just like I am. Mont Blanc Explorer Platinum. So now we have to go head to head with probably my two favorite elixirs of the year. First it was Ralph's Club Elixir, but then Gucci Guilty Elixir came out, and I am so torn onto which one I should give the title of my absolute favorite. But we'll start off with Ralph's Club Elixir because they're both pretty different. I wouldn't compare them at all. Ralph's Club Elixir is more of this kind of lipsticky, powdery iris with something a little, it's not really leathery, but there's something woody about it and something a little ambery as well. It's just a very good, dominant, lipsticky iris scent. It's just so sensual. There's something about iris, especially on a man. It's just so rich and so mysterious on a man. And I know that there's a lot of iris scents out there, but this one is done in a way that, I don't know, it just smells like a really rich CEO, and I'm really drawn to it. And this is definitely my favorite in the Ralph's Club line as well. I really like the direction that the elixir goes in, but then when you put it up head to head with Gucci Guilty Elixir, it's like, oh, how do you even compare them? This is a scent that I actually accidentally got. I went in looking for the Hugo Boss bottled elixir, which I did not like at all, and they had this. They actually gave me this instead. This fragrance is so good. Oh my gosh, I don't care. It is very expensive. I think it's worth it. This smells like a niche scent. Kind of vintage inspired too. It's a very strong floral, white floral, very enveloping, bubbly white floral scent for a man. Oh God. There's just something about it that feels very cozy to me. All right, I have to give it the best elixir, Gucci Guilty Elixir. This on a man, this in the air is just like it'll put a spell on people around you. You will smell so dominating when you wear this. I absolutely love this scent. So that is all of the designer fragrances that I wanted to mention. Now we're going to move on to niche, and I want to start off with Red Colorado by MYSLF. This is for a very cool type of guy, I think. This is something that is not so typical. It smells very piney, very green, like you're in the outdoors. Something earthy about it. You're hiking through the woods in Colorado and you can just feel that dewy moss. That is definitely in here, mixed with something a little ashy, a little smoky. Not really smoky, more ashy. I don't know if that's like verbally how you would distinguish the two, but it makes sense, guys. It makes sense in my brain. So I hope it makes sense to you guys what I'm saying. But overall, it's just a very cool, green, earthy, patchouli, mossy type of scent with a lot of pine notes. A lot of green, kind of tree-like pine notes with some woods and this kind of ashy feel. I don't know. This is a great fragrance for like a very manly man. This is super masculine and definitely something to wear if you want to make an impression. Red Colorado by MYSLF. We have to talk about it. We absolutely do. Althair by Parfum de Marly. This is a fragrance that actually broke the internet, guys. People were going nuts over Althair for a very good reason. This is a beautiful vanilla dominant scent for a man. It is unisex, but not overly sweet, not overly feminine in any way. It has cinnamon, a little bit of this kind of soft floral vibe, but overall just like a very festive cinnamony vanilla. And it was definitely needed in the Parfum de Marly lineup. They didn't have something so simple. Because this scent is pretty linear. The performance is great, but it doesn't really transform that much, at least for me, versus I feel like the other scents in their masculine lineup are very transformative, very dimensional, versus Althair is just something that's a little easier to wear, a little more simple, and simple, but so good. So next I want to talk about Faces of Francis by Wilhelm Perfumery. Now this is another one that is totally unisex, but it is just slightly masculine leaning. I have no problem wearing a scent like this, but I feel like some women might because it does have a smoky element to it as well. This is like pistachio, a sweet pistachio mixed with something a little smoky and a little woody. It is so unique. It has oud as well. Kind of a smoky oud, I think is where that smokiness is coming from. It's just so good though. It's so just different. I don't want to say it's strange, but it's definitely something that's a little more challenging for people. And I know that a lot of my viewers like a challenge, so definitely check out Faces of Francis if you want something that's a little different, a little thought-provoking, if you will. So next up we have CocoLoco by Zahara. This fragrance really impressed me, guys. I was so excited when this came out. This is another one that got a little bit of a hype train. Once again, very well deserved. This is a very cool, citrusy, coconut fresh scent for a man, which I absolutely love. This is a fantastic warmer weather scent if you want something different with a strong dominant coconut. There is also like an equally dominant citrus side to this. Definitely a strong mandarin note in here that I get. It's just so, once again, not overly complex and not necessarily too different, but it's different enough. Like it has that likability factor. Everyone is going to enjoy it, but it's still going to be different than almost every other fresh, typical scent out there. And you'll be supporting a really amazing American-based niche house, Zahara. It's really, really good, guys. Definitely try CocoLoco if you like the sound of something fresh, a unique freshie. So of course we have to talk about the king, Absolu Aventus. I love this so much. I know this one has gotten a lot of hate. I love this scent. Wow, it is my favorite Aventus. I love it so much I bought another bottle. I really did. I said I was going to, and I kept my word. I have spent nearly $1,000 on Absolu Aventus this year. It is insane, but in my opinion, it is so worth it. It's just so mind-blowingly good. It has everything that's so iconic about Aventus, but it has in these darker elements that make it even more masculine, even more manly, and the performance, the selling point on this is that you get that creed quality, because at the end of the day, we all know that no matter how hard other people try, they'll never be able to copy Aventus fully. It's never going to have that same quality, the same appeal, just the richness that Aventus has, and that is the case with this as well. But the bonus of Absolu Aventus is that it lasts a long time, guys. We're talking 10 to 12 hours with a great sillage. The central on this is freaking sexy, 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 sexy. On a man, you cannot go wrong with this. It's pricey, but it is worth it in my opinion. I put my money where my mouth is. I even have a backup bottle. This is like sex in a bottle, guys. It is fantastic. So next up, we have a fragrance that I actually just got. My best friend Kelsey actually gifted me this for Christmas. It's been on my wish list, saved in my phone literally since it came out in May. We're talking about Diptyque's Eau Nabiti. I don't know what it is that makes me so attracted to this scent. It is a little masculine leaning, but I do not care. It's just a really great patchouli based scent, kind of similar to the patchouli that you might find in Tempo. Very earthy, kind of like a dry vetiver, just very, very, very oriental. Has a freshness to it though. I wouldn't say that it's really dirty. It's kind of a clean vetiver. I am in love with it. I don't know what it is. Sometimes, most of the time, I find myself in the mood to wear fragrances that are very androgynous, very unisex, not something that leans super feminine. I like things that are more in the middle. For me, in my opinion, I like the girly scents, but just normally I like things that are even almost a little masculine leaning. It just feels very sexy to me, very powerful and very luxurious. And this scent, you guys, is the best of the year from Diptyque. Wow, it is incredible. So guys, that is my video for today. My favorite masculine fragrance releases of 2023. Leave a comment below. What was your favorite release for 2023? I would love to know. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.